Hello and welcome to the podcast. So we're very lucky. I've got a guest on today that I've been trying to get on the podcast for absolutely ages, and she's finally yielded and come on today. So without further ado, Nony, Kerr, Smiley, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for giving up your time. So I know you are a very busy lady, to say the least. So give us the background about your estate agency life, because you've been doing this for a fair number of years, and now you're in the self-employed world. So talk us through that journey up to today.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for asking me. To be fair, this is the first podcast I've ever been on, so thank you for asking me. I've been an agent now for 25 years in Winchester. I've been working for 45 years in my life. Oh my God, nearly half a century. I'm only 21. I don't know how that happened. I've been an agent since the late 1990s and always in Winchester and covered Winchester in a 1 mile radius. I did 8, 9 years working for Lindsay's Arkwright and Goadsby, and then went over and did a few years at a bigger estate agency also based on Jewry Street. I worked there for 10 years and cut a long story short, that employment came to an end just after lockdown in 2020. Wasn't quite sure what to do next and looked at a few things to do. And I've always been a bit of a square peg round hole, so I'm not really easily set into anywhere else. So I thought, should I try and get a job with any of the other agents in Winch? And I just didn't really fit because I'm not a junior, but I'm not a senior. It just didn't fit. So then we looked at the self-employed models and we looked at EXP, very close to doing EXP for a start. And actually, Ben Moore is amazing. So I had a lot of chats with him and Adam Day. Didn't quite get over the line on that. I was almost there, actually, if I'm really honest. They have boards with photos. I didn't want my photo on a board. It's as shallow as that. And then we looked at other things like Fine and Country, and I spoke to Ian McKenzie, who I also think really highly of. Looked at a number of different models and wasn't quite sure which way to go. And then it all happened very organically. So I'm at home. I've never not worked for 40 something years. I've never had a break in employment, really, apart from having a baby. And as they will remind me. And then my phone rang and it was a client, and he went, "Where the bloody hell are you?" So I went, "Oh, I'm at home and crying and watching Netflix, actually. And if you want a synopsis of The Crown, I can give you a synopsis of The Crown because I've just watched the whole darn lot. And some muffins. I found a great muffin recipe. Do you want some muffins?" He said, "No, I need you to sell my house." So I went, "Oh, well, I'm not working for anyone." And he said, "Well, I found a house I want to buy with another agent, and I don't want them to sell my house. It's the only you I've ever used, and it's you I want to use. So you better find a way. I need a buyer by Friday." It was Monday. Funnily enough, I'd already had a little bit of a sliding doors moment because my electricity had gone off the week before for 5 minutes, and the electrician came round and he went, "Hey, I was at school with your kids." I went, he said, "Do you ever need a property photographer? Because my girlfriend does that thing." I went, "No, but thanks." So, Mike, I need a buyer by Friday. I thought, what the hell am I going to do? Funny enough, I've got a photographer. All I need now is to find a way to put it online. And my great friend is Julian, who owns the franchise of Martin and Co. And he'd already suggested it once before, but I wasn't sure. So I rang him up and he went, "Yeah, how you doing?" "Still crying and watching Netflix?" "Yeah." I said, "I need your help." He said, "What?" I said, "I kind of need to sell a house. Can I sell it with Martin and Co, please?" And he went, "Yeah, fill your boots. Well, what are you up to?" And I said, "Well, Mike needs to sell the house by Friday. I found a photographer, but I'm not working for anyone. Can I be your consultant?" And he said, "Yes, fill your boots, come on board, be our property consultant." And that's what I did. So now I'm a property consultant. I'm freelance. I can work for anybody. But I'm working with Martin and Co predominantly at the moment. And they are amazing. They've given us a huge amount of support. So back to that one, sold the house by Friday, stuck it on Facebook. Been really annoying, actually. I did that to annoy the company that I did work for that decided I no longer suited them anymore. And I was being really impish. I was thinking that's going to really annoy them because it's a £1.25 million house at St Cross. Really, that's a district of Winchester. I thought that's going to really annoy them. So I just sold this ping, put it on Facebook and LinkedIn, not really expecting any more except to maybe make them just growl a little. But then what happened? "Hi, John, how are you?" "Yeah, fine, thanks. Are you back?" And I went, "No, why?" "Well, can you sell my house?" And I went, "No, because I'm not working. We just done that one." "Julian, yeah, can I do another one?" And that's how it all got going.
And
Anyways,
And
Look, 170 properties later.
wow. And I was looking on your website before today's podcast because contrary to popular belief, I do quite a lot of research before I do podcasts. And I went on your testimonial page, and I think my wrist is actually tired from scrolling such a long way. It is like the longest website I think I've ever seen in my life for testimonials. It is just like paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. No's amazing, knows she's the best. Only so like it is ridiculous. So you've clearly made a good impression with people over the years that you've worked in Winchester. Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think they keep coming back to you year after year?
What you'll read in those testimonials, and actually, it's not like I know it sounds slightly braggy, and I don't mean it. I'm just really proud of it. Some of those testimonials we've done, some companies will have one for May, one for November, one for this, one for that. These are every month, over and over, dozens of them every month. They, by and large, all have the same theme. Nony is very honest, Nony and Sam, because I work with Sam, very honest, straightforward. She'll give her heart to you, but she'll also be scrupulously straight. She will never tell you what you want to hear. She will always tell you what you need to hear. So when it comes to valuing a house, it's slightly different to the other agents. And funny enough, you did a podcast the other day. Actually, it's the only one I've ever listened to, so not of yours, of anyone's. And it was this guy, John, the long
Yep.
one you did of an hour.
Yeah, John Savage,
And
yep.
he, yeah, do exactly what he does. So I'm now really annoyed because I thought I was special. But when we value a house, we run off, or say we're seeing a two-bedroom house, and we'll go run off all the two-bedroom houses with all the agents, not just ours. Why are you just telling people about your houses? You need to tell them what's going on in the entire marketplace. So we run off all the two-bedroom houses and the three-bedroom. And we don't just do their district, we do a 2 or 3 mile radius. And we tell them, your house is beautiful, but your buyers are looking at all of these. So we've got to price your house correctly. Now, I think your house is worth this. I'm telling you a real story now because this was last week. I said, your house is worth probably between 4 and 410-ish. And they said, okay, that's fine. That's what we were expecting. I went, okay, so what we'll do is we'll put it on at 4 because that's the least that it's worth. It's probably worth a little bit more, but it's definitely worth that at least. And we'll get the best people in the door because they're right move algorithms. But if you go on at 425, actually, just down the road, there are 3-bedroom houses. Yours is a 2. Yours is a beautiful 2. But your buyers are looking at these. And this is all the agents in an 18-month period, because the market hasn't risen in 18 months, so it's an accurate pricing. This is what I think we'll do. And they believe you. All the agents that try to overprice are trying to beat each other, aren't they? So on the high street of Winchester, there are 20 odd agents, and they all want to beat each other. With us, I don't care. I'm true to myself. I will tell them what I truly believe. And most of our clients come with us on the journey. So we priced it correctly. We put it on at 400. I've got 2 competing bids. I'm going to sell that for 420 today. But if I'd put that on at 420, I don't think we'd have had those people in the door because some of them were actually only looking up to 4. And that's where they set their price barriers. And it was an old RICS statistic that said 70% of buyers have 20% more than they have actually set themselves as budget. They could stretch themselves. So that's what we did. And that's what we do with all our clients. We tend to get 100% of asking price. We don't stick things on for too much money. If someone wants to come on for 100 grand more, just let them go. Let them go to some other agent. I'm too busy.
And has that always been a mindset of yours? I appreciate when you first start a business. Now you're probably slightly different from this, so it's really important to get your opinion on it. Obviously, when most people start a business, they're kind of like the default answer is yes. It's like, do you want this house at 425, for example? They're like, yes, it's that or nothing sort of thing. Have you always sort of had that mindset of like, I'm here to sell it, not just for the sort of the vanity of just having it on the market?
What you just said, 100%. I mean, for the sake of 410, 415, I actually truly believe that what was acting in their best interest was this. They trust me, they believe in me, they came on my journey. We went out and saw a house at 2.25 million last year. Been on the market with 3 agents. In fact, it was simultaneously on with 3 agents online all at the same time. So you being a property person, you'll know exactly what house that is. It started at 2.9. Sam's just reminded me in the background. Started at 2.9, but they brought it down and it was simultaneously on with 3 of the major agents in Wench. 2.25. We went out and met with them and we said it was probably worth about 2 to 2.1.
Mm.
They went, okay, I can see that. I said, but do yourself a huge favor. Whether you use me or not, I really don't care. Really don't mind. I just want to give you best advice. Get it offline with 3 agents. Choose one, not 3 at the same time. It's killing your house. Anyway, they took it down, and come about April, we had the perfect buyer. So we rang them up and went, are you still looking to sell? Yeah. I said, you're still around 2 to 2.1. They said, yeah, we believe you. All exchanged and completed. They moved in last week.
Love that.
I wouldn't have taken it at 2.25. That's just doing the same. What they Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting it to be different. We spend as much time telling people not to change from the agent they've got to stay with the agent they've got, because the agent they've got is doing nothing wrong. And just say, stay with them. Because somebody rang me on Saturday. She's got an apartment on the market. We don't do flats. And she said, what do I do? And I said, look, I'm looking through your photos now. It's not for me. Thank you for ringing me because I don't do flats. But your pricing should be bang on the money. It's what you paid for it in 2017. She goes, well, I've already reduced it once. I said, yeah, not that. But while you're here, let me tell you. Okay, there are 62 unsold 2-bedroom apartments in Winchester. Are you surprised that yours hasn't sold? She went, oh. I said, let's do another thing. Right, the photos are good, by the way, so don't change your agent. They're doing nothing wrong. Now, let's have another look. If you drop to 325, which is a price point, there are still 40 odd properties unsold in Winchester at that level. So let's drop you again. 275 to 3. Oh, there's another agent got one in your block at 300, the same size as yours. It's also not selling. She went, oh, right, okay. So let's take you back to the 330 where you are. Who's your buyer? She went, well, young professional. I went, mm-hmm. Well, the young professional and the service charges in your flat can actually afford a house at 400. Because of the way the mortgages will go, they'll bear into mind all the service charges. So actually, yours is probably up against houses at 4. And you can buy a house now. Because what do I do? And I say, it's up to you what you do. But if I were you, I would take it off the market, continue to rent it. Do you need to sell it? No, well, then continue to rent it because it's been a rental. See out the next budget next month, which we're all dreading, and see out the budget after that, because we Brits are very stoic. We roll with the punches, make do and mend. We'll get used to the new norm, then put it back on the market in a year or so's time. She went, thank you very much. And that's what I think she's doing. We don't
And
suggest moving agents just for the sake of it.
do you think that people are more attracted to you as a business because you're quite happy to say, no, you're not for me? Now, I know you spoke to myself a little while ago and you said, I've got too many valuations in, so I've just started cancelling them. And I've said, no, it's not for me. I'm not even going to come around and go to the front door. I'm just going to say it's not for me. Do you think that actually attracts people more to your business because it's kind of like that with or without you energy?
Yeah, I get messages saying, oh, can I come with you when you do have capacity? That's great. But also, we take on the things that we really, really want to be working with and clients that are on the journey with us. Now, I'm not a house snob. Don't get me wrong. I love a house in Stanmore. We had the most gorgeous house in Stanmore, 190 Stanmore Lane. We've done the most exquisite job. I have a house in Stanmore or a house at 2 million. It's not that. It's a question of working with the people that we love to work with. We don't just do a normal job press. We roll up our sleeves. Well, obviously, and we get really stuck into each of our clients and each of our homes. They are really personal to us. So we're probably doing 14, 15 hours a day, only looking after a handful of houses. But we're very personal with our clients. So we go and visit them often and we're very empathetic. You don't have empathy in the market anymore. And most of our clients tend to be over the age of 50 because they know what quality of service is. We don't believe in the WhatsApps. We do a WhatsApp to confirm an appointment, not to start a conversation. And yeah, we go and visit them. So even after exchange, we go and see them again. I think it was Chris Watkins who said, why do all agents stop at exchange and move on to the next one? We don't. We hold their hands all the way through, make sure the removals are okay. And even on completion day, we meet the buyers at the house and see them into the property. Different level of service. So we need to be working with the right people that understand the way we work and really want to work like that with an agent and see the difference and the value.
So would it be fair to say you've got your geographical niche quite happily, and then on top
Yeah.
of that, you've obviously got your sort of your demographic niche as well of a certain age, a certain type of person. They click with you guys, they kind of get on with you well, and you kind of stick to that. You don't kind of venture out of your lane too much on that.
Don't go up my lane too much because I think the lane comes to me. I don't choose the lane. Plus, except that lovely 400k house that we're about to sell for 420, that's a much younger couple, but they just loved us anyway. But generally speaking, the majority of our clients tend to be that age because they understand what quality of service truly is.
And do you ever think to yourself about where your business might be or might not be if that your first vendor didn't phone you up and say, Nony, what are you doing? Can you sell my house by Friday? Do you ever think to yourself where your business might be if that hadn't happened?
And whether I'd even have a business, I have absolutely no idea. But I've never been one to look backwards and I never look too far ahead. I'm always, the way my brain works, I'm just one step at a time. And I give that advice to my clients too. Go, oh my God, I need to find a house to buy. Baby steps, one step at a time. We'll photograph your house. Then we'll do the viewings on your house. Then we'll sell your house. Then you know what your budget is. Then you can go house shopping, one step at a time. And most of them really like that because it takes all the stress off them. They go, okay, one step at a time.
So talk me through this because I live in Winchester, so I walk past. I think I'm currently walking past two of your sold boards at the moment on my morning walk. So they're not you're around in the local area, should we say? You're not the cheapest estate agent in Winchester, and I'm sure you probably tell people quite proudly you're not the cheapest estate agent in Winchester. And it sounds to me like you're very realistic on the valuing side of things as well. So if let's say, for example, I was your ideal client, but I said to you, actually, Nony, do it for 1% for me. And actually, yeah, I know you said 400, but maybe 425 is more the sort of direction. How do you kind of gauge that conversation with clients in that sort of situation?
Okay, so we're not the most expensive and we're not the cheapest. We're very much mid-range. We're like Waitrose.
Mhm.
We're Waitrose. Not Fortnum and Mason. We're Waitrose. There are others that are more expensive. We just stay at our nice moderate level. We're not 1%. You want 1%, you know what? You can go off and get them. Actually, those agents could probably go for a bit more. They probably went in there with a view to getting 1.5. And the only reason they dropped it is because during the valuation, the owners who don't know what other questions to ask, it's like, oh, okay, I know that you do this, you do that, you do that. Is there any flexibility in your fee? And most agents go, use it now. So and so must have been in and they must have said 0.75. I go, they're only asking. They're asking you to drop your price. They're just asking the question if there's flexibility. And chances, and most of them just go, okay, 1%. And they go, okay, that was very easy. We just say, no, our fees are whatever our fees are. And we're the same with everyone. Because the last thing I actually want is for anyone to go to a dinner party and does anyone have dinner parties anymore? Anyway, whatever it is, to meet up with someone else and go, I use Salmon only, and they charge me this. Really? They charge me that. Oh,
Mm.
great. So we're the same with everyone, be it this house or this house. And then if anyone argues the fee level, well, then we rarely get an argument on fee. Actually, most people go, yeah, it's fine. We're only asking. But if I do, I have a couple of analogies. This helps. One is, do you go to the Ivy? I love the Ivy. Don't go very often,
I
mainly
go
because I can't
rarely.
park.
It's definitely a birthday or special occasion sort of dinner rather than anything else.
Okay, so if you go to the Ivy and you have burger and chips, okay, although you probably wouldn't because you're so much more at the Ivy than burger and chips. But say you go to the Ivy and you get burger and chips, do you get your bill and then go, here's £6.39?
Mm.
Well, that's the price of burger and chips at McDonald's, so it's the same, isn't it? Estate agent selling a house, service is the same. You bought me food, burger, chips, £6.39. No, you pay the extra for the good quality of service. And that's what we do. The other one is John Lewis. Do you buy your jumper at John Lewis or Primark? You could buy Primark and it's cheap. You can go for cheap service. You wear it a couple of times, you wash it, it's shrunk, it's gone pilling, it's started to fall apart, you chuck it in the bin. That's the cheaper level of service. We're the John Lewis level where you know you're going to get quality. And people go, yeah, I get that. It's great. Thanks.
So I would imagine that majority of your business comes from recommendation and referral. Is that fair to say? Do you do advertising outside of that, or is it more kind of just word of mouth at the moment?
Well, if you're in Winchester, I hope to blooming God you actually get some of my adverts because we have an amazing leaflet dropper. So we drop 3,000 leaflets a month, usually in the same areas. And they're really nice leaflets. And we use a local leaflet distributor and we use a local printer. We do everything locally. We also pay the bill on the day they give it to us because we don't think people should wait. But we also, it's just arrived in the post today, do the back page of 3 of the main magazines in Winchester. So Winchester Resident Magazine, and then there's Winchester Magazine, which isn't the same as Winchester Resident Magazine. And we do the forum in Winchester. We have the back cover of all three. So let's face it, when it lands on a map, it's either going to land that way up or that way up. Quite a pretty advert. So people tend to like it. And the cards that we deliver are A5, double-sided. And people say they're actually they're crisp, they're nice, they're quite colourful, but they're not overbearing. They put them on the fridge, they put them in the drawer, they fish them out when they need it. So that's the sort of advertising we do. Most of what we do is word of mouth. I don't underestimate how many calls we get from that. I had one just the other day. I got your magazine through the door.
Yeah, well, I should point out it was a slightly weighted question with regard to your advertising because I do see your advertising, so it is working. So it does come to the post box on a regular occasion. So you've alluded to a question I'd like to ask you there. So you alluded to with regard to kind of using local, and we've had a chat before, and I've said, what do you do with those listings when they phone you up and say, "I'm a flat," for example, like who do you pass it over to, sort of thing. So talk me through your sort of viewpoint on sort of referring business, recommending business, all that things. I know you're very passionate about this, to say the least.
We are. We don't just say no thanks, see you later. But one thing we've also learned from is coming out of the very large company that we used to work for, where all the agents fell out with each other. No agents ever spoke to anyone else on the high street. We've actually mended a lot of those relationships now, and they get on really well with people. I mean, there's an amazing sales progressor, for instance. I'm going to name it at Belgarum, Vicky. He's saying, "Oh, on the other side of one of my deals." Really happy. And I don't mind putting her name on my LinkedIn as well, going another great sale with Vicky or Andrew at Goadsby, whatever. So we're mending relationships all the time now. If I've got somebody that wants to sell an apartment, I'm very likely to say, not for me, but go and ring so and so at such and such. I think they'd be the perfect fit for you. Or a house when I've got enough properties, or it's outside of my geographical area. I want them just to flounder with, I was going to say the yellow pages. I don't think anyone does that anymore, but just not knowing where to go. I will go, actually, ring so and so at such and such. I think they're exactly the right fit for you. I know that he lives in your village. He'd be a really good fit for you. It's of no consequence to me to recommend other people. Why not?
And how much are you getting paid for these referrals?
Why on earth would I want to be paid for that? I want to recommend people that I know will do a good job, not because they give me a backhander. It ceases to be an honest referral if someone's paying you for it. Put on referrals. So, for instance, we don't take any referrals for solicitors. I recommend a solicitor because they do a really good job, not because they're paying me. So, my mindful bugbears is Get Agent. Sorry, but I'm going to get you on Get Agent. I really have a problem. They say they recommend the top 3 agents. Well, they don't recommend the top 3 agents because chances are the top agent won't take their referral because they take a 25% referral fee, and maybe the third agent won't take it. So actually what they're doing is they're referring the top 3 agents that are prepared to pay their fee. Well, that's not an ethical referral system, is it? So no, we don't take referrals. We just recommend the right people to get the job done. Those people then go off and say, "She was great. You recommended someone else. You didn't just leave me floundering. Thank you very much." And then they recommend me to other people because we're so straight.
I was going to say, do you think that kind of feeds into the recommendation cycle? The fact you're so transparent, you can say, this is either a property for me or not a property for me, but also I will recommend and refer the absolute best people in your situation, whether it's another agent, whether it's the right removal company or solicitor company, whatever it may be, because it's the right thing to do. And that sort of message is quite refreshing and kind of gets out there, and that kind of feeds back into recommendations for you effectively.
What goes around comes around. And even if it doesn't come back at me, don't do it for that. It's just because it's in my nature. I'm not just going to let somebody hang there and go, "Not for me, thanks, see you later, go away." But no, but I've got an idea for you. Go here.
So we share a very similar sort of ideology, and debatably you came out with this before I did, but that have to be argued. So you see property listings as basically a Tinder advert for a property listing. So talk me through that.
Basically, I swear I got there first, but then you did it. So maybe we both have the same idea. But something pops up on Rightmove. It's a new listing. Here's your phone. Look, there's a new house. Come on. Because your phone is Tinder, it's also Rightmove. So it's ping up. And you go, "Oh, unless that house price looks exactly right and the photos look good, the clients are going to look at it and go, dreadful, not at that price." And they flick it off. Tinder, in the bin, not interested. If the price comes down later and it pops back in and it goes, it's not a new listing, but it's come back up. Oh, the price has come down. And they flick it off again. It's like, no, not interested, because nobody wants something that no one else wants, and they think there must be something wrong with it. Get the price right in the beginning. It's okay. Yes. Price is about right. And then put it up, have a look at it, and you go. So on new listings for the last 12 months, Sam did a spreadsheet analysis. I hate spreadsheets. They make me cry, really. I just want to sell a house, but Sam's often looking at numbers. And for new instructions over the last 12 months, for new instructions to sales, the leading agent in Winchester sold 56% of their new instructions. The second leading agent sold 72% of their new instructions. Is that right, Sam? He's just looking at me going, yeah. We sold 92% of our new instructions. That can't be by mistake. That's not luck. As they say, the harder I practice, the luckier I get. I think that's a golf terminology. Never play golf, but I understand. And on resales, normal resale properties that have been around a little bit longer that didn't sell straight away, over the last 12 months, the leading agent in town sold 40-something% of their stock. The second leading agent wasn't far behind them, and we sold 77%. Get it right, get them through the door, your house will sell and sell quickly. It's not hard.
So is this the case of almost there is no plan B? They're almost like the first impression is the impression sort of thing. So therefore the photographs are 10 out of 10, the floor plan's 10 out of 10, the description's 10 out of 10, everything is kind of as banging as it possibly can be. So it goes online and makes that splash. And there's no sort of like, if it doesn't sell in the first 3 weeks, we'll drop the price down and then we'll kind of see how it goes from there.
We don't do price reductions if we can help it. And also getting the descriptions right. Word, you're singing my song now, Chris, because most of the estate agents don't even think what they're writing. They don't. They're going, oh, it's an Acacia Avenue. I'll cut and stick that paragraph. And it's got a well-appointed bathroom. It's a well-appointed bathroom. I read it over and over. What the heck is that? Whatever. We write it. I write each brochure individually as I speak. And the owners love reading our descriptions, going, but you've got my house. That's absolutely perfect. So yes, we take great over how we present our properties. We pay almost double for our photography than any other agent pays for theirs. Our photographer, my girlfriend's card, is probably twice the price, pretty much, of the average high street estate agent. But if you look at my listings online, you can see, and people say, I knew that was yours. I knew that was one of yours. I didn't even look down to the logo. I just knew that was one of yours.
So is that kind of that upfront investment to kind of pay dividends down the line? 'Cause if you're willing to pay twice as much upfront for the photography and make sure your property looking absolutely fantastic, more than likely that results in a better sale, better price, etc. More like a recommendation, with then better fees coming right back around to reinvest in that all over again into the better product. So I really, really like that.
That's 100%. But also, if you get the price right and everything else right, and then you sell it, what did they say? The statistic that Chris Watkins also did last week was that houses that sell in the first 25 days are more likely to make it through to exchange and completion than the ones that sell in over 100 days. Our fall through rate is like 5 or 6%. It's negligible because it's only the two of us. So we value it. We attend with our photographer to get exactly the photos we want in exactly the way we want them. Most photographers are in the house for 20 minutes. They go kitchen, bathroom. They go word blind or whatever. They don't even see what they're taking. Let's get them done. We're there for a good 2.5 hours in every house to make sure the photos are exactly right. Then we write the brochure, we get it online, and we sell the blooming thing. And we see it all the way through to exchange and completion because we know the lawyers really well. Most of our lawyers do this. You ready for this? Ready for this? Hey, how are you? Yeah, they answer the phone. Most of the lawyers we deal with actually pick up the phone. So our sales on average get through to exchange in 7 weeks, not 16 or 20. And we don't pay a referral fee. It just gets the job done. We build close relationships with the buyers and the sellers. So our sales don't fall through. None of our buyers want to let our sellers down. How about this? Last week, I know we're probably running out of time, but I need to tell this story. Last week, we had 3 houses, and they all linked in a trilogy. It was a 3-link chain. Those 3 lots of people all loved each other so much that on completion, I rang up my chain-free buyer that was buying the first one and went, okay, so just to let you know, on completion, this is how it's going to work. She went, that's not much. She went, no, it's fine. You look after Emily. How's she doing? Well, she's, I just want to know that. No, 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 no. Just make sure she's okay. I'll see you on completion day. Can't wait. See, tell her she's in no hurry. We've got all the time. I went, hey, Emily, just so you know, on completion day, this is what we're going to do. So Annabelle's fine, and how he, but how's Richard? He's great, thanks. But anyway, just make sure they're okay. Just whatever, everything's great. And Richard only cared about Mike. Mike only cared about Richard, and he's going off into rented. You have never had such a lovely chain, but that's the relationships we aim to build within our chains, which is why our sales don't tend to fall through. We try to find a way around any problem. The other thing we do, it's different to some. Oh, I'm way outside my half hour, aren't I? But the other thing that we do is if there's a problem on a sale, say 5 o'clock on a Friday, I will never ring my owner at 5 o'clock on a Friday and say I've got a problem on their sale. What's the blooming point? I need time to think about how I'm going to fix it. So I'm not going to land him with that on a Friday evening at 5 o'clock and ruin their weekend. So I'll think about it over the weekend about how I'm going to fix it and what solutions I can come up. There's always a solution. Then on Monday morning, I ring up and go, right, just let you know, got a slight problem, but I thought of 3 solutions. We can do this, this, or this. And they're so grateful. They don't want to be floundering around trying to think of an answer. We go to them with 3 solutions, go, we can do this, this, and this. I suggest we do this. How about that? And they go, great, thanks.
I love that.
That's the different solution that we do.
Absolutely. Rather than just dropping a problem on the table, you're like, I've thought about the problem already, and here's actually the 3 options you've got. Which box do you want to go forward with? Amazing. So it's fair to say the business has, I wouldn't say taken a life itself, but I know you and Sam are both on socials, very active. You've got lots of property on the market, loads of testimonials we mentioned earlier today. What's the future hold? So what's the next chapter from here? Because obviously I know you were sort of a one lady band to start off with, then kind of Sam came on board as well. Is it to grow a team? Is it always going to be the two of you? What's the formula from
Never going to grow a team. I'd be horrible to work with. I would be horrible to work with. Seriously, that wouldn't work at all. So no, just say Sam and me. We've got the Martinico team behind us that give us a fantastic background. I'm not sure I quite like that because I wouldn't want to be on my own, totally on my own without Sam. So it's very lonely. I don't know how some of these people on their total own actually manage. Because it's very isolating when you get turned down for another valuation or whatever it is, you don't know who to talk to. We talk to everyone. We talk to 2 or 3 friends in who are other agents. I've got Julian at the end of the phone that I bounce ideas off, and so on. So where am I going to be in 5 years' time? I have no idea. I'm 61 now. I have no idea. Baby steps, one step at a time, see where it goes.
Oh, well, I think you are a brilliant example of how estate agency should be done. So I think you and Sam have done an amazing job since you guys first launched the business. So thank you so much for coming on today. It's been really valuable. Thank you so much, Nony.